Hello, and welcome back to another edition of Carrie's Gardening Channel. Today is February the 17th, 2019, and I'm going to be planting my eggplant seeds today. So I'm going to be doing Diamond, Ping Tong. I grew these two last year. I was very pleased with them. Ping Tong is one of my favorites, so I'm definitely going to be planting that one again this year. I already actually have one of these growing for an indoor vegetable growing experiment. And then I'm going to be trying Little Fingers this year. I do have one of these growing right now too for my indoor vegetable growing experiment. It did sprout for me. And we're going to be trying, I believe it's pronounced as Wad, Rosa Bianca, and I believe it's pronounced Matoya or Mayoto. So I chose these three here. I'm looking for a replacement for Black Beauty because I could never get a big harvest out of Black Beauty. So I'm looking for a replacement for that one. And I decided to try these three. Now these are all supposed to be really sweet. I know this one here is really sweet. We loved the sweetness and the flavor of this one last year. This one here was really sweet too. Sometimes we did peel this one. This one here didn't need peeled. And the rest of these four are going to be new. So I'm going to be using here my Jiffy Tomato and Vegetable Greenhouse kit here. Now these are going to be the peat pellets. I'm going to add hot water to them for them to expand, and then I'm going to be planting my seeds in here. Now I did already use some of the peat pellets out of this greenhouse kit here. And the reason why I like to put my eggplants in the peat pellets is because eggplants don't like to be transplanted. They don't like root disturbance. So I can just take them right from here and plant them right into my Jiffy pots then, or my large newspaper pots. So we'll be right back. Okay, so I have my little peat pellets here, and I'm going to be pouring my water in here. And I'm going to be planting a total of 12 seeds. I've been trying to figure out how many exactly to plant to try. So I decided on 12 seeds. So what I'm going to do now is, as this is soaking up, I'm going to put this lid on here to keep the heat and the humidity and the moisture all in there. And this can take maybe about 30 minutes to an hour for these to soak up. So I am going to be checking them to make sure they don't run out of water. If they do, I'll be adding more to it to let them continue to soak. As soon as these are done, I will come back and I will show you then how to plant the seeds. So we'll be right back. Okay, so these are done and they soaked. I poured the excess water off of them, and I already fluffed the soil on most of these. Now you'll notice on your peat pellets that they'll have this hole in the center here. And what you want to do is you want to just take your soil and go ahead and firm it over like that, and then you're ready to plant. This one here needs a little extra, and pull your netting back here. So I've already pulled the netting here and I fluffed the soil up on these. And the first one that I'm going to be planting is Ping Tong, which is this one here. Now this is one of my favorite varieties. I love the flavoring of it. It's nice and sweet. I love the, you don't have to peel it. We had this fried, we had it grilled, cooked. It was very good. And so I'm definitely growing this one again. Now because I'm growing 6 different varieties this year, I had to figure out how to keep these separate. So I took some barnyard lace here and I looped it around the peat pellets for each variety. I'm going to be doing that for each one here, so I don't get my varieties mixed up. I already labeled this one here Ping Tong, and I put the date on of when I'm starting them. So this is what eggplant seeds look like here. Now these can take 10 to 15 days to sprout. Now that can depend on the temperature. Eggplants need a high temperature to germinate. On the pack it says 75 to 95 degrees. I find like 80 to 95 degrees does better. So you definitely want to make sure that you keep your eggplants nice and warm. And I'm going to be putting these in a grow box. If you don't have a grow box, then I recommend using a germination mat. So I'll put some links down in the description there. Okay, here we go. Now these go about a 1/4 inch deep. So right now I'm just pressing them into the soil surface here. And my soil is still nice and warm, which is what I want. Now for the pink tongue, it says to just surface sow the seeds. So what I did is I took the seeds and I pressed them in to the soil surface, and I left them pretty much exposed. I gave them just a little bit of a covering, but you can still see the seed. And what I'll actually do, as these are germinating, I will be checking them to make sure that they don't dry out. And I'll be taking the spray bottle and I'll be spraying across the tops of the soil to make sure that the seeds stay nice and moist as they germinate. Now, some of your eggplants, they'll tell you on the pack to put the seeds about a 1/4 inch deep, but on the pink tongue, they tell you to surface sow it. So that's how I did this one here. So I'm going to finish planting the rest of the varieties. I'll come back and I'll talk to you a little bit more then. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I got the pink tongue planted, the diamond, the little fingers, Matoya, Rosa Bianca, and I'm planting the Aswada now. Now, they tell you on this one here to put the seeds about a 1/4 of an inch deep. So I'm going to show you here how I do my eggplant seeds that tell you to cover them. I'm spraying this over here. I pressed the seed into the soil surface. I sprayed it with my spray bottle of water. And I'm just barely going to put a covering over. They say a 1/4 of an inch. So I'm just going to cover this here. There we go. Now I got all these labeled, and I have the strings tied around the different varieties, so I shouldn't get them mixed up. And the Matoya told me to surface sow it, and so did the diamond and the pink tongue, so that's what I did. The little fingers, the Rosa Bianca, and the Aswad said to cover them with a 1/4 inch of soil. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the lid on this, and I'm going to take this over to my grow box, and I'll be right back and I will show you that. Now what I'll do with these is, as they're germinating, I'll check to make sure that the soil isn't drying out, and I'll check to make sure that the soil surface is staying nice and moist so that germination isn't delayed or stopped. If your soil dries out while your seeds are germinating, then the seed will actually die and then it won't come up. So it's very important to keep your seeds nice and moist for your seed starting mix. So I have my eggplants here, and I put the flat under the light, and this is it's not a fully enclosed box. What I actually do is I take and I'll put a piece of this foil insulation in front of this here. This will help to keep the box nice and warm, which it's nice and warm in there. You can see we have the moisture on top here. And what I do, usually about once a day, just to get the seeds some fresh air to help them continue to germinate, is I just pop the top up, let a little fresh air go in there, and then I just close it back up. So it's nice and warm in there for our seeds to be germinating. Now if you don't have a setup like this, what this actually does, the light heats the box up. I can enclose this entire thing in, but I have other stuff growing in here. So for right now, I'm just putting this across right here, and it's giving enough heat off for them to germinate. If you don't have a setup like this, then I do recommend a germination mat or one of the Shangsite LED grow lights. I did grow and germinate eggplant seeds under those already. It did very well for me. I was very happy all of them did germinate under there. I can leave a link down in the description for that video so you can see that and see how I germinated them and how I grew them. So when these start germinating for me, I will come back and I will show them to you, and then I will be putting them under my lights and I will show you that. So today is February 24th, 2019, and I've been checking on my eggplants here to see if they're germinating. Now, my eggplants did start germinating. The ping tongue started germinating on the 22nd, and so did the Aswad eggplant right there. And Diamond started coming up on the 23rd, and Matoya, or Mayoto, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it, did start coming up for me. So my Aswad eggplant here is actually ready to come out of its container, the enclosed container, so I'm going to be taking it out and putting it right under the light. So we'll be right back. Okay, so what I did here is I took the eggplant seedling out of the enclosed container and I put it right under the light. As you can see right there. Now I am going to be checking this very frequently for water to make sure that it does not dry out, because the light will make it dry out. Now my lights are on for 14 hours a day, and I'll have a link down in the description for the light that I use. So I'm going to go back to the other plants over here, the other seeds over here that are still germinating. So what I'm actually doing with these is I'm misting the tops of the peat pellets daily with water to make sure that they don't dry out, and then the seeds won't germinate or they won't come up. So, because what's happening here, there's so much moisture that's evaporating from the heat from the light and then the box that's heating up. So I just really want to make sure that I'm keeping the top of the peat pellets nice and moist. And as these continue to come up and grow, I will be taking them out of the box here like I did with the Aswad. I'm still waiting for Little Fingers and Rosa Bianca to come up. And I will come back with another video then for how I feed my eggplant seedlings when they start getting their true leaves. And I did a complete playlist last year on growing eggplants from seed to harvest, so you can check that out on my channel. So if you like my video, please like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, you can leave them below and I'll try and answer them for you. Please don't forget to hit the little notification button. I'll tell you as I put a new video on. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a nice day. Bye.